everyone, Richard Phillips back at you with some more modern action. Today we're going to be playing a really fun deck, Jeskai Saheeli, but before that I thought I'd just give you a little bit of a channel update. I had pulled a random winner of the Altered Hollowed Fountain, and I appreciate all of you entering the contest for that. It was a success, and we had a lot of people enter the contest, so I'm very excited about that. I'll be doing another one soon, probably not the next video, but the one following that. I'll give away something else from my personal collection, or possibly get another sponsorship to give something out, which I'm very excited about. Other channel updates is that this channel is growing steadily, but I would ask for any of you who are enjoying my videos but are not yet subscribed to please do so. I'm getting very close to the threshold that YouTube has randomly created for whatever algorithmic reason to start getting at least a little bit of money back from the channel. Because as of right now, I'm just doing these, for free. And if don't do so well in a league or whatever, I'm just out that much money, which I'm fine with because I would produce the content anyway, but I'd like to at least, maybe just replace the amount of money I put into the stream in, buying microphones and buying event tickets to play, these usually tier 3 plus decks for all of you. All right, so today we have Jeskai Saheeli, and the reason I'm playing this is because my good buddy and fellow YouTube creator, Oren Lagziel, I will link his YouTube channel below. He's a lot bigger than me. He played this deck to a 10-5 finish at SCG Baltimore. This is a deck that, this combo here, Felidar Guardian Saheeli Rai, ran rampant over Standard a little bit more than a calendar year ago. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the way that this combo works is that Saheeli Rai basically has no abilities that are particularly relevant except for the -2, which is create a token copy of an artifact or creature you control. And that token has haste. And what you choose is Felidar Guardian. And Felidar Guardian says when it enters the battlefield, exile another permanent and return it to the battlefield under your control. So then you return Saheeli Rai, and then you can activate another loyalty ability, copy Felidar Guardian, and just make infinite Felidar Guardians. It's a little bit of like a twin-esque combo where you're creating infinite numbers of the same card, which would be Felidar Guardian. And then you attack with a bunch of 1/4s, and you win the game. So that is the combo in this deck, but backed up with this combo, instead of playing like aggro elements to try to get this combo out faster, we're just kind of like oopsing into the combo a little bit, and we're playing a Jeskai control shell with Lightning Bolt, Path to Exile, Lightning Helix, Snapcaster Mages, Remands, some Wall of Omens, and Spreading Seas. The setup for all of this is that in one turn, or over the course of 2 turns, we can assemble the Saheeli Rai Felidar Guardian combo. And you can do this in a couple of ways. You can either on turn 3 play Saheeli Rai, turn 4 play Felidar Guardian, or all in one turn you can play Felidar Guardian for 4 mana and untap one of your lands by returning it to the battlefield. So then you only need 2 additional lands to cast Saheeli Rai. So on turn 6 you can go Felidar Guardian, Saheeli Rai combo off there. In addition, we're playing a couple of targets for the Felidar Guardian. We're playing a Vidillion Click, a Pia and Kira Nalar, 1 Teferi, which is really good against control decks, and just kind of pulling ahead to win a fair game, as well as the Spreading Seas and the Wall of Omens, as well as the Snapcaster Mages. These are all very relevant targets for Felidar Guardian to gain a little bit of value. The biggest criticism about this deck is that both Saheeli Rai and Felidar Guardian are slightly worse than modern playable cards on their own. They don't particularly do anything that is even good for their mana cost. Like Saheeli Rai, for the most part, is a 3 mana, do very little planeswalker, and Felidar Guardian is a 4 mana, like worse than Flicker Wisp type card. So you're paying an extra mana, and it doesn't fly, and it is has worse power. So individually, the cards aren't particularly powerful, but in this kind of shell, they can act as an I win button against decks like Tron, Valakut, that Jeskai control has a historically bad matchup against. The sideboard is playing a bunch of things for all the graveyard decks that are especially relevant on Magic Online, and Oren was prepared for these in Paper 2. He has 2 Surgical Extractions, 2 Rest in Pieces, as well as 2 Angers of the God, which are great against Dredge. We got a Braid today instead of Wear Tear, which usually has a spot in the sideboard. The only card that really you care about that's an enchantment is Worship, and let's just hope we don't hit any Worships, because if we do hit a Worship, our out is to find our Teferi and -3. Other than that, we probably are pretty cold to it. We also have a Celestial Purge, some Stony Silences or Settle the Wreckage and some Dispels to protect our combos, as well as Vendilion Click if we are thinking that the game is going to go long. Our lands are definitely a little bit more painful than most mana bases. We kind of have a shock fetch mana base with our Scalding Tarns, our Flooded Strands, and our one Arid Mesa. We do have 2 Celestial Colonnades to try to lay some beats down on our opponent for like fair matchups. And you'll see we'll probably win at least a few games very fairly with Colonnade, Bolt, Helix, Snapcaster beats, you know, with some like Felidar Guardian, Vendilion Click beats in. But once again, our main game plan here is the Saheeli Rai Felidar Guardian combo, which is why we're playing 4 of each. And once again, I'll just remind everyone to subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate your support, and we'll jump into a Modern League. All right, everyone, welcome to round number 1. We have a hand here that has very good mana and some spells to cast, so we'll keep it. We're very far away from our combo, but I think that's okay. We have turn 1 Serum Visions to try to dig for it. Our opponent's mulliganing to 5, which is a great thing for us. We have our Teferi, which is our opponent's down to 4. If they're on Dredge, though, we could still have a problem. They're mulliganing down to 2 now. Well, this doesn't make particularly good content. Well, let's see here. I'm making fun of it, but then we'll probably just lose, so... Okay, our opponent says, oh, it is Dredge. Yeah. Wow. Huh. Well, we could be in some trouble here, guys. All right, we did find the first part of our combo. So we will just search for the other part of it, because that's how we're going to win this game, is by comboing out very quickly. Oh, there we go, and we found it. All right, so we'll keep a land on top, and we'll just go turn 3, Saheeli Rai, turn 4, Felidar Guardian. That's our plan here. We'll just play the land tapped. Opponent found a Dredger. This isn't going particularly well for us for a 1-land hand. It's the power of Dredge. They fortunately can't really power any of their spells out. Like, I think they're just obligated to Dredge here. They might try to take a draw step. Wow, that was a really good Dredge, too. All right, so the opponent hits a lot of stuff. If they can somehow find a land, I don't know how they're going to go about finding a land. They would just have to, like, naturally draw it. We could be in some serious trouble. So we just got to hope that they can't find a way to get these amalgams on the battlefield this upcoming turn. And then we can hopefully combo off. All right, the opponent found 1 more Dredger, which I don't know if they will dredge. Oh, it's a land too. Wow, they found their land. Oh my gosh, we're going to lose this game. Holy crap. Wow, they found their 1 of Dakmor salvage. That is so gross. Jeez. All right, so now our plan is that we have to survive until turn 6 and just combo off all in 1 turn, basically. All right, there's a wall of omens. That's probably a good place to start. And then next turn, I guess we can play Felidar Guardian, and then we can just try to combo off with Saheeli after that. Jeez. All right, there's a mountain. I think I'm just going to hold the fact that we're playing red in this deck if we don't have to show it right away. So we're going to take 3, 4, 5. Wow, we're going to take a lot of damage here, too. Opponent found Loam, too. Jeez. All right. So we're going to take 7 here. All right, we'll block there. Yep. All right, well, the good thing is that I guess I probably should have just blocked a Bloodghast there. Yeah, that's all right. The only good thing about this is that I guess we are not dead on board if we block here. We're going to take 7 damage. All right, we'll just say the plains here. So if our opponent dredges the Dark Blast, they'll probably just dredge the Imp instead. So we're not theoretically dead here. but we're still probably not in good shape. If they hit a... yeah, definitely should have just put the Wall of Omens on a Bloodcast. That was definitely my bad. That might be the difference here. Okay, they hit a Narcomoeba, but they didn't hit any... Okay, so I think we might be okay. Maybe. We're going to take 3, 6, 7, 8 and go to 2, and then just try to win. Oof. All right. I think we might have somehow dodged it. All right, opponent brings back a Bloodghast. Opponent's deck is very strong. Dredge is very good. Like, very, very good. All right, we even have Remand up, which is great. So now we'll play Saheeli Rye and we'll just combo off. And we'll see if our opponent's going to make us click through it. Hopefully not. All right. Opponent is going to make us click through it. All right, so I think there's a way to and save targets. Choose the Saheeli Rye, which will cut one whole step out of this combo. All right, well, I'll just cut out this video at this point here. I obviously didn't do this button clicking correctly, but we will just begin game 2, because I'm just going to make, like 40 Felidar Guardians here and kill him. All right, guys, welcome to sideboarding here. We were able to kill our opponent. They didn't concede. They also blocked, which was, I don't know, maybe a little bit too much, I think. All right, so I guess we'll talk about the cards that I definitely want to bring in here. I love bringing in Surgical Extraction, obviously. Love bringing in Anger of the Gods. Very good. I love bringing in Rest in Peace. I also, believe it or not, so Settle the Wreckage. I also, in general, like bringing in Dispel to protect the Rest in Pieces, because our opponent doesn't have that many ways to interact, and they probably can't beat a Rest in Peace anyway. Some cards I'm not a huge fan of in this matchup are Lightning Bolts. I don't like the Vendilion Click. I don't like the Teferi. Those are all just too slow. And I don't like these Spreading Seas in a large amount. So maybe keeping like a couple of them are fine. The Remands are okay. They're not great. But maybe just like that. Maybe just like that's fine. The Helixes, I think, are fine. We do need a couple of ways to interact, and this can also at least gain us some life. But I think I like this board plan a lot in this matchup. Another card I guess we could consider bringing in is Celestial Purge, but I think we have enough removal outside of that. This at least can just provide some chump blockers. I think it's fine to bring in or keep in. There's definitely, I think, a few more cards I'd like to cut, but we don't really just have good cards to bring in. So we'll submit like that. All right, well, this hand has Anger of the Gods in it. Is Anger of the Gods good enough to keep on the draw? Probably not, especially if our opponent kept 7 cards. I don't think we can just keep a hand that doesn't really do anything until Anger of the Gods. Maybe that's not true. Nah, I don't think we can. I think we got a mulligan. Oof. All right, well, we have a land on top. This hand's good. Good to very good. I think we're just going to be risky. I don't think we're theoretically supposed to win this game anyway on the draw, and this is the kind of hand that can, if we can put a land on top and then cast Anger of the Gods. But, I might get punished for that. We probably have 2 draw steps to find a land that if we don't find it in that time, we'll just be dead. But this is definitely a risky keep, but in general, you just have to keep risky hands against Dredge, because that's the only way you can win on the draw. So we'll let the Faithless Looting resolve, and then we'll hopefully just surgically extract the only Dredger out of our opponent's library. Yeah, okay, so they just have the Thug, which is good. Might as well just do it now. That's fine. And hope our opponent's hand's just non-functional. Or their opponent just concedes to it. Alright, so our opponent has an Assassin's Trophy. They don't have another Dredger. So, okay. So our opponent has 3 Assassin's Trophies in their deck, plus 1 Nature's Claim. So they brought in 4 ways to hate out enchantments. And outside of that, our opponent's hand doesn't do anything at all. So we have definitely a little bit of time here. Especially if we can hit a land here. Wow. Very nice. All right, Glacial Fortress, rest in peace. Let's just go top. Seems very strong. We could play Wall of Omens next turn, and then hopefully the next turn we can play... Wow, our opponent drew a Faithless Looting for the turn. That is very nice. Opponent still doesn't have a Dredger, though, which is good. Okay, opponent returns a Bloodghast, which is fine-ish. So they'll get the Prized Amalgam back, but we do get our Wall of Omens to block. So we won't be taking too much damage. And then next turn, we can play our Rest in Peace. And then we do have our Path to Exiles to hopefully fight down our opponent's board. We do know our opponent has an Assassin's Trophy, but hopefully we can get rid of a Dredger plus our opponent's other Faithless Looting here, because they'll just go land looting, unless they drew something that's like the absolute nuts. All right, and we'll just block in a way that helps preserve our life total here. See, our opponent wants to just Conflagrate here, which is, you know, that's reasonable. They could definitely just Conflagrate here and try to discard a bunch of stuff. No, it looks like they're going to flash back a looting. This is good for us. This is preserving our life total and hopefully going to get a little bit of a blowout here. And if they Assassin's Trophy the... oh, wow, it wasn't even a good... we didn't even get a Dredger in there. All right, so we can surgically extract something else and then play Rest in Peace. Is that something we want to do? Probably not. We can surgically extract the next thing that they play after we Rest in Peace. The Rest in Peace here is just really getting rid of the Faithless Looting and getting us another land. I think the tentative plan here is if our opponent tries to Assassin's Trophy our Rest in Peace, we will get a Plains and then consider pathing our own Wall of Omens. No, we'll just get it. We'll get a mountain. Well, see, the issue is that we don't have 2 basic mountains in our deck to cast Anger. The mana base doesn't particularly support Anger of the Gods. But that's okay. All right, there's a remand. So we can actually just remand the Assassin's Trophy here, which is kind of cool. Make our opponent use it on their turn. I'm not exactly sure how good that is, though. Maybe we just... No, it looks like our opponent's just unwilling to give us a land. That's fine, too, I guess. We'll just go ahead and block the Bloodghast, path the Amalgam, I guess. Yep, that's fine. We'll just go ahead and I guess get a mountain here. That's fine. Okay, our opponent lightning axes their own prized amalgam. So what I'm going to do here is remand our... Huh. So we could remand the Path to Exile and then just surgically extract the amalgam. We can remand the lightning axe. Yeah, let's just remand the Path to Exile here. Which hopefully draws a card. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we got a card. And then we will just go ahead and surgically extract the Stinkweed Imp. So this is the way that the new dredge decks are built. This kind of plan is a little bit more realistic than it used to be at one point. It used to be that actually getting rid of the dredgers was really hard, but it's become a little bit easier with the way that our opponent's dredge deck is built. They currently only have a Dark Blast and Life from the Loam, and yeah, that's it. Just Life from the Loam and Dark Blast as and one Dakmor Salvage. So their opponent's deck is really low on actual dredgers, and that's something that you can always keep in mind with these new dredge builds. They just have land Cathartic Reunion in hand. And the Lightning Axe is going to resolve, the Amalgam goes away, and we're still in very good shape. All right, so now we take our turn. All right, there's a Lightning Helix. I think here I like just playing the Saheeli Rai, copying the Wall of Omens, playing a tapped land, passing the turn. Just draw another card here. All right, we drew a Remand, play a tapped land, keep our life total high, pass the turn. So now if we draw a Felidar Guardian at any point, we can win the game. Opponent will discard the 2 cards that they've drawn recently. Yeah, 2 reunions, they drew some other cards. This is all fine. We still have Helix, Path. We do need to draw another land in order to like use our hand the way that we would want it to be used. Definitely just snap off this block here. If our opponent wants to waste a spell to kill our Wall of Omens, we are cool with that. All right, opponent does have a land. They don't have any cards in their graveyard currently to flash back. Looks like they're just going to cast a Prized Amalgam. That's fine. Most decks don't even play a Steam Vents. Oh, they're just playing a Narcomoeba. Okay, that's fine too. All right, there's a Spreading Seas. So we'll begin by scrying. We will put the Serum Visions, I guess, on the bottom here. And we will Spreading Seas our opponent's black source so they can't cast another, whatever you call it, another Assassin's Trophy. And we'll just pass the turn here. We'll let Saheeli take 1 damage. That's fine. Hold up Remand. Or Helix. Block there, that's fine. If our opponent commits like 1 more thing to the board, we can just cast the Anger of the Gods. All right, the end step, we'll go get a white-red source, I guess. All right, drew another Remand. tick up on that. I guess we don't really need a plane, so we'll bottom that. And I guess we'll just pass the turn again. Just trying to find our combo, and I don't want to just waste an Anger of the Gods, because right now our opponent isn't particularly threatening us. They only have Light from the Loam, and they only have one Conflagrate in their deck. I'd be very impressed if our opponent can somehow put together a Dredge Train that is damaging enough to us where we have to go ahead and start worrying about blocking things. I guess if they do have a Conflagrate, they can just hard cast it to try to kill the Saheeli, but you know, we have a couple remands, which are nice. Oh, they did find a Light from the Loam. All right, so I guess we'll just go ahead and remand it to make our opponent use more lands this turn. All right, so I guess we do have to begin to get a little bit worried here. We're not, you know, at the point that we need to panic yet, but we would like to find our combo on the sooner side rather than the later side. All right, there's a Snapcaster Mage. That's very good. We can Snapcaster Surgical here. So we will go ahead, I guess. I should have played the Flooded Strand first and fetched. That was my bad. That was not a good play. Another Snapcaster Mage does seem great, though. So we'll just go ahead and Snapcaster Surgical. And we'll Surgical Light from the Loam. Go ahead and take that. Our opponent has Bloodghast in hand. They can't cast that. What kind of fetchable lands do they have? They have one mountain. Just one mountain left is the only fetchable land. Okay, cool. All right. And we'll go ahead and pass. All right, we'll definitely just go ahead and block the Bloodghast here. We can think about trying to turn the corner here by just helixing our opponent and then snap helixing and attacking them, because we're actually in pretty decent shape. So we'll go white, red here. Helix our opponent down to 9, attack our opponent for 2 here, and then we have Snapcaster Mage there again. We have the paths to kind of clear the way. We're dealing a damage a turn with this Saheeli. I'm not going to make the same mistake again. I'll fetch for a plains here. We do not want that. I'll attack our opponent for 2 here. And we never even had to cast this Anger of the Gods. So our opponent kept a relatively non-functional hand, and our 3 surgical extractions and 1 rest in peace were enough to get there on the draw against Dredge, which is very exciting. I mean, I guess we could still lose this game, but I think it's getting a little bit harder. So we will block this Bloodghast again. Our Saheeli takes 1 damage again, as it's been taking for like the whole game. All right, and at the end of the turn, we'll go ahead and snap Helix. Lightning Helix. Target our opponent. Go up to 14. And then we'll go attacking here. Cool, and that's a great example there of fair beatdowns in this matchup. And I'll see you guys at the beginning of round 2. All right, everyone, welcome to round number 2. We are on the play. This hand is a little land heavy, but we only play 22 lands, so I'm definitely going to keep this. I think I'll just start off with Celestial Colonnade. Opponent's mulliganing, which is great. Anytime you're playing a combo control deck and the opponent mulligans, that's great. That means you have more time and less things that you usually have to interact with. We do have a lot of interaction with this hand. All right, our opponent plays a tapped Watery Grave. I don't know what that signifies. Maybe like Esper Control. If it is Esper Control, I'll be very happy. I love Esper Control. All right, we'll just play a Hallowed Fountain here and play a Wall of Omens. That's fine. No reason to get our basics yet if our opponent is playing a control deck. We don't want to fetch out our basics until we have to. So I think here we'll just play a Flooded Strand and pass the turn, make it seem like we have a counter. For what it's worth, control is a very bad matchup for this deck. We just don't do enough things. Sure, opponent Fatal pushes our Wall of Omens. That seems like a very big win. We drew a card off of that, and our opponent lost a card. So it is Esper Control, which is cool. I love Esper Control. They might have Esper Charm here to try to draw 2 cards, which is really cool. We'll just start fetching out all of our untapped, or all of our duels. So 3, we can just jam the Saheeli here. Chances they have a logic. Oh, they can't even yeah, we're gonna jam. We're definitely just jamming Saheeli. Saheeli is actually a real threat in this matchup, whereas it's gonna help us scry and our opponent currently doesn't have the mana to logic knot, so they'd have to have mana leak it. Okay, they're gonna draw 2 cards. That's perfect. So they did have the Esper Charm, which is one of my favorite Magic cards. We will fetch first for a tap land, I guess. We're just going to get that one. And then we'll scry. Path we'll put on the bottom. And Saheeli unchecked can do a significant amount of damage and definitely help our draws by a lot. So opponent plays a Creeping Tar Pit. They still don't have Cryptic up. It's very hard to go for the combo with all the removal our opponent probably is playing. Vendilion Click's a great draw. Scry here. Put that on the bottom. And I think here we'll just play an island and pass the turn. Probably at our opponent's end step, or if our opponent taps out, we'll cast the Vendilion Click. We're not really in a hurry. Right now our opponent actually has to react to our board. All right, so they are going to draw 2 cards. So we'll let them draw 2 cards, and then we will go ahead and cast a Vendilion Click. And we'll target our opponent, and we'll just take, some card that we can't beat. All right, what card can we not beat? Can't really beat Jace. Oh, it's Esper Gifts. Okay. I don't know. None of these cards our opponent has are particularly good. I mean, they're all good, but like they're not actually preventing us. So if we draw the combo, we're actually in very good shape, I guess, is the best way for me to describe this. So we're like actively looking to try to draw the combo now. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the Gifts Ungiven, because that's the only card here that really produces a winning game plan for our opponent. So we know that they have those cards in hand. All right, we'll let them untap. We have removal for their Creeping Tar Pit. The other thing is that Esper Gifts is also not very good in mirrors, so the combination of us not being good in mirrors and them not being good in mirrors is a very weird combination. Hopefully they're scared of Saheeli Rise -7, which actually doesn't do anything in our main deck. We do not have any artifacts. Even post-board, the only thing that we can get is an Engineered Explosives, and it would be on 0. So there's that. But Saheeli Rai is a legitimate threat in terms of, like, we already scried a path to the bottom, which was a bad card that we didn't want to draw. And it is, chipping away at our opponent's health a little bit. All right, so one of the cards they drew was the Celestial Colonnade, and that's fine. All right, and we drew our own Colonnade, which is fine to good, I would say. Spreading Seas is very good. We'll keep that on top. And I think we will just play the Colonnade here, and we'll attack our opponent. Cool. All right, opponent draws 2 cards with a Hieroglyphic Illumination. That's fine. Opponent thought seizes us. All right, we're going to bolt them, I guess. All right, opponent's down to 9. Okay, opponent plays that. So they still have Jace, Wrath of God, Snapcaster Mage. Sure, okay. Opponent's still not doing anything that leads me to... I mean, they can try to stabilize next turn, but might be a little too late. All right, remand. Do we want to remand? No, they're going to play Jace next turn, so I guess we want to bottom that. We want to go white, blue, red, this, that, and activate the colonnade and attack our opponent with it. So our opponent needs to hold up Snapcaster push next turn, or they're in a lot of trouble. So we will go ahead and Spreading Seas the Tar Pit, so that way they can't attack the Saheeli and hold up Snapcaster, assuming they drew a land. So we'll go ahead and just put it on the Tar Pit. Okay, there's Fill Out Our Guardian. So that's really good. So we can threaten the combo off, and our opponent still has to just hold up Snapcaster in order to push. Opponent has a Hero's Downfall. Well, that was a little unexpected. I think our opponent mistapped, right? So they would have to have drawn Path. We know that their hand is Jace, Snapcaster Mage, and 2 unknowns. Are we supposed to just assume that they don't have anything? I guess so. I mean, we're not going to win the game otherwise, so we'll just activate this and see what happens. They need to have exactly Path. I think our opponent just mistapped. They meant to hold up Fatal Push for this Colonnade, but no. Okay, cool. Oh, they couldn't do it because they needed double black for that. So actually taking our opponent off the double black was good. All right. All right, so Esper Gifts. They have the Gifts Ungiven combo. We'll bring in all of these cards here that seem to matter, those 3. The paths probably aren't great, neither are the bolts. There's actually just a lot of stuff that isn't very good in this matchup. Maybe cut some number of paths, like 2. Our opponent, I'm trying to think of... So they're most likely... The number one thing that they're going to try to give Ungiven for is... Emiria, or not Emiria, Iona. And Iona, we basically have 0 outs to. If they name white, we can't beat it. So there is definitely an argument, I guess, for bringing in surgical extractions. I don't like bringing in surgical extractions, but we don't have outs to a specific line that our opponent can take. So, like, if we cut, like, a Saheeli Rye and, like, a bolt and maybe even another bolt, something like that, and just leave, you know, the rest of the stuff intact like this, we might have a relatively decent shot at beating them. I really don't like bringing in surgical extraction here, but if our opponent just happens to have the combo, we don't really have enough disruption in this deck to prevent them from doing it. And bolts are so bad. So I'd rather do something like this, I think, where we just have 4 ways to pressure a Planeswalker in terms of spells. This hand's probably fine. We'll keep it. It's a little heavy on the Fill Out Our Guardians, but, you know, what are you going to do? That's the kind of, you know, like I said, one of the issues when playing a deck like this is you're just signing up for some really bad draws with the Fill Out Our Guardians being in these, you know, in this hand here. All right, Spreading Seas is actually really good here. We can go ahead and get a Hollowed Fountain here. That was probably the best draw in the deck, other than maybe a land. But we'll try to take our opponent off a double white. Another Spreading Seas is good too. All right, there's a Field of Ruin. cool. So we drew that. So we will, I guess, play around Logic Knot. And we'll Spreading Seas this Watery Grave. Just trying to make it as awkward as possible for our opponent to cast their spells. All right, cool. There's Saheeli Rye. That's fine. Our opponent will most likely Field of Ruin us here. Oh, Vendilion Click us. Okay. So with that on the stack, I'm assuming they'll target us. I guess we'll just fetch and bolt it. That's fine. I'd prefer they took something out of our hand. And yeah. So we'd like them to actively take something out of our hand to try to draw a land. The bolt was the only card that we cared about in the whole hand. Our opponent should probably just leave this hand as is. I don't know if they will, but they should. The worst thing they could do is probably just play Jace here. Although if we do, we get to play Felidar Guardian, bounce Spreading Seas, which isn't the worst. Okay, opponent took the Saheeli Rye, and we got a Serum Visions instead, which is cool by us. See if they have a Jace. Yeah, our opponent's deck, I was going to say, they don't play terribly too many Jaces. So that's good. We could Serum Visions, try to hit a land here, or we can just cast Vendilion Click. I think I just like casting Vendilion Click here. And targeting ourselves. Yeah, okay, so we will target ourselves. And we'll just put a extra Felidar Guardian to the bottom. Hit our land drop, and there's a couple of lands on top, so we'll definitely just top a couple of lands. Our opponent can't really tap out for Teferi here because we'll just be able to kill it. We're pretty similar. They can't cast Gifts Ungiven here because we have a way to disrupt their combo with our Surgical Extraction. It does look like they have a Teferi, though. Maybe? No, Gideon. Okay, that's fine. That's not really what we were worried about anyway, so that's fine. All right, we do know that we like the top card of our library, so there might be some incentive to not playing the Saheeli here. So our opponent has 3. Trying to think here what our best play is. We do have a couple. We can snap Helix or snap bolt the Gideon and then Helix the Gideon. We can just play Saheeli Rye. Yeah, I think I just like jamming Saheeli Rye here. That sounds good to me. Okay, our opponent does have the Logic Knot, which is a little bit unfortunate, but that's fine. Okay, opponent pluses on the Vendilion Click, which is fine. That doesn't really do anything. We'll just pass the turn. All right, there's another land. We'll play the land first, and then we will cast a Felidar Guardian. Disdainful Stroke. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, this is definitely how we can lose the game, is if our opponent just has all of the disruption and all we draw are combo pieces that are easily disrupted. And Esper Charm's very good against us. Okay, opponents just continue to tick up the Gideon. Okay, our opponent plays Jace. That's fine. Okay, so our opponent is going to do that. We will attempt to Helix it in response. All right, cool. All right, so Jace off the table. Our opponent does have 5 cards in hand to R2, which is not, obviously ideal. Our best draw here is probably Piankira Nalar. I guess we'll top a Felidar Guardian, though. That's not... it's not as good, but it's certainly passable. If we can draw a card with it, I'll be happy. We can move this Watery Grave, or the Spreading Season on the Watery Grave, over to the Creeping Tar Pit. Opponent, for some reason, hasn't been getting frisky with the Gideons. I don't think they really understand their role in this matchup. Unless they actually don't have an answer to the Vendilion Click, which would be improbable, I'd say, to say the least. All right, we'll wait till our opponent attacks with this Tar Pit, and then we'll just cast Snapcaster Mage. Go Helix it. Opponent have a Surgical Extraction. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, it's actually unfortunate because we knew we had a Felidar Guardian on top, too. A little rough. All right. All right, so we'll take our lumps here. All right, and now I think we're just going to go ahead and go after our opponent here with the Snapcaster Mage and the Celestial Colonnade. Our opponent will probably Field of Ruin it, but we're fine with that. Oh, okay. Our opponent casts their own Snapcaster Mage. That's weird. Choosing Surgical. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We might just Surgical our own Surgical here. Okay, our opponent didn't even cast it. Interesting. Okay, our opponent is activating the Gideon. All right. Well, I guess we take this. All right, I guess we're just dead here. So I'm just going to concede. Our opponent can... so if we hold this back... I guess we're not just dead, but... no, we do have outs. There's a chance our opponent just doesn't, know how our deck works. Make them, I guess, use their mana, shorten our ability to... Yeah, okay, so... That's fine. So our out here is we draw a Felidar Guardian, and then we draw Saheeli Rai. And our opponent doesn't have any interaction, because we block the Gideon with our Vendilion Click, and... yeah. The chances of that happening are astronomically low, but... Oh, okay, our opponent isn't even attacking with both. Interesting. All right. So we'll block with that. Our opponent plays a Teferi. All right. I think our outs are still exactly the same. All right, it's Spreading Seas. All right, so that's so I guess that step. This gives us additional outs. So we'll put it on the Creeping Tar Pit here. So now like P and Kira Nalar is fine. We drew another Surgical. All right, we're dead. I should have Surgical to our opponent. That was not smart. Yeah, I should have Surgical to our opponent to see their deck. Eesh. All right, so we don't know how they boarded. Based on how that game went, do we want to change anything? I guess Engineered Explosives kills a Gideon. And Wall of Omens is probably really bad. So is Path to Exile, though. I think maybe we just need to keep a couple in just because. So maybe we'll just do that. Submit like that. All right, we would like to play first. Yeah, this hand's great. Hopefully our opponent just plays a tap land. We'll just put a Spreading Seas on it. Yeah, all right. Cool. Oh, a Dispel even? That's nice. All right. So we'll go ahead and get a red source here. Like I said, we're because our opponent has paths and stuff like that, we're going to try to not fetch out all our basics because we're going to wind up drawing them anyway, like we just did there, which is fine. I mean, we do need basics, so that's good. All right, play a Flooded Strand, pass the turn. We can play Felidar Guardian on 5 with Dispel backup, which is kind of cool. See what our opponent does here. We can definitely try to remand something. All right, our opponent's a little... So our opponent probably has some sort of proactive threat that they were thinking about casting there, like a Vendilion Click or a Gideon or something, but I think I'm fine with just tapping out here. Or fetching there. All right, we did draw another land, which isn't great. We'll play our Scalding Tarn and pass. So now we have Remand Dispel up. Opponent might just Esper Charm here. I think we'll let that resolve. That's probably fine. Yeah, that's fine. There's, I would say, not even a small chance, like a relatively large % chance that they should have just made us discard 2 there. Well, that kind of sucks. We can... Oh, I guess we can just remand it. Yeah, they can't cast it again, so we'll just remand it. Cool. All right, we even drew another remand. All right, Pithing Needle's a little annoying. They can name Saheeli Rye. We're fetching here. Opponent surgically extracts the remand. Well, we should probably just dispel it because it's going to take a card out of our hand anyway. Okay. All right, so the Pithing Needle resolves. And then they can name Saheeli Rye. And then hopefully right here we just draw Teferi and everything's fine. Teferi. Now Spreading Seas. Spreading Seas is pretty good that we can take our opponent totally off of black because we know that they have... Oh, we could just move the Spreading Seas over. Yeah, let's do that. All right. If they have Disdainful Stroke, I'll be very impressed. All right, so we'll just take the Spreading Seas. put the Spreading Seas on the black source. Cool. All right, we'll play tap land and pass. Opponent still doesn't have a black source. We have successfully stranded a Thought Seize in our opponent's hand. Okay, that's a Jace. That's fine. Opponent looks at the top card of our library and put it on top. Okay. All right, it's a land. All right, so we'll attack Jace. We certainly have a couple outs here that would let us kill the Jace. That's not one of them, though. I was going to say we're going to try to play everything in a way where it makes sense to do this now. All right, so we will leave the Spreading Seas as the topmost card. All right, so this isn't looking great for us here. The Pithing Needle has done a significant job making it hard for us to do what we want to do here. I'm going to put it on the bottom, which was expected, which is why I wanted to keep the Dispel in hand, so that way we can hopefully dispel something that's really nasty coming at us. Oh, no, they left it on top. Huh. So I guess they don't care about it? That's weird. All right. I mean, let's continue to cast these things. We would like to draw this Dispel on top. All right. Attack our opponent's Jace. All right, that's fine. Opponent does find their black source. We can remand gifts. Let us dispel the gifts. Now our opponent will Thought Seize us. We'll remand the Thought Seize. Okay. Actually, Colonnades are really good. All right, so our opponent draws 3, puts 2 back. Plays a Watery Grave untapped. Thought Seizes us. We just Helix this. Jace. Opponent took our path, I guess. That was the other card in our hand. Vendilion Click's really good. Yeah, we'll attack our opponent's Jace here down to 1. Then our opponent will probably tick up because they don't want it to die. And then hopefully we can just get him with the Vendilion Click. Now our opponent's just going to brainstorm with the Jace. Interesting. All right, so maybe we don't want to commit the Vendilion Click to the board. No, that can't be right. I think we just kind of have to commit the... Oh, I don't know. 4 cards in hand. Opponent can make it 5 with the Nile Spellbomb. Opponent casting like a Elish Norn here. They can't cast Elish Norn. They don't have double white. Our Spreading Seas have done a good job. All right, so our opponent is attempting to destroy that. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. I don't know what our opponent's doing exactly, but okay. We will... This actually worked out very well. Oh, wait, no, we need another blue. That blue. Cast a Vendilion Click. Okay. So our opponent returns that and counters it. They take our Saheeli Rye, which is fine. So we do still get to kill the Jace. But our opponent doesn't appear to have answers for, like, anything. Which is wild, but appears to be the situation that's going on. Kill the Jace. And unbelievably, our best draw off the top is Path to Exile, which is not something I would have even remotely considered to be a good draw before. Our opponent does draw with the Esper Charm, which is good for them. I doubt they have any more basics. They do have another Plains. Interesting. All right. Our opponent still can't activate Colonnade, though, so that's good. Oh, no, they can activate Colonnade. Okay. So they can activate Colonnade. Which is why they did that. Oh, perfect. All right. So we get to move this Spreading Seas over to this Colonnade. So let's do that. So that Spreading Seas, yes. Put it on that. Perfect. All right, and then we will draw a card. All right. Ooh, actually, both of these cards are very good. All right, so we'll put the Snapcaster Mage on top and the Bolt on top of that, and we will attack our opponent. And we're hoping our opponent is just out of desperation here going to be forced to use the Pithing or the Nile Spellbomb here. Yeah, perfect. Okay, opponent kills everything. That's fine. Only 3 cards left in hand. We can theoretically kill our opponent next turn. All right. Oh, okay, they're going to drain us. They didn't discard anything, just draining us. Okay, that's fine. So 2 cards in hand. So I guess we just attack with the Colonnade. Oh boy, that was really bad. I tapped very wrong. All right. Well, hopefully this doesn't come back to bite us, because I did tap very wrong there. Because we have there's another Bolt on top of our library. So we basically, it's going to be very hard for our opponent to do something here that, yeah, even that doesn't really do anything. So let our opponent draw a card, that's fine. But we got a Bolt on top of our library. So I think we just Bolt our opponent and then Bolt it again. If our opponent counters one, then we do the Snapcaster Mage thing. So if we attack our opponent down to 1, does that change any? There's probably no reason to not just attack our opponent down to 1 here. That was probably, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this way we can still double Bolt our opponent. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So opponent does have path. So what we will do is bolt our opponent. Okay, and then we will cast a Snapcaster Mage. Opponent casts their own Snapcaster Mage. Targeting what? Oh, okay. I guess they're going to try to target surgical extraction. So we'll let that resolve. Yeah, that's fine. So then they'll pay a black for the surgical extraction. Then we'll bolt them in response. All right, and then we'll bolt them. Did we win? Ooh, opponent Mind Break Trap. Wow. All right. All right, well, we might be in a bit of trouble now. Jeez. All right, well, I wasn't ever going to play around Mind Break Trap, so, I mean, our opponent got us. All right, 2 cards left in our opponent's hand. 1 left in our opponent's hand. See if they can seal it up with a... Well, Liliana's pretty good, too. Opponent just has a lot more, like, stuff than we do. I think we still probably win if we draw, you know, Helix or something like that, but... No, Flooded Strand's not that. All right, so I guess we just leave it in hand because we don't really have any other fetchable targets. I guess we have 1. Our opponent should be doing this on the Detention Spheres. Or on the Spreading Seas, probably. Like, for sure, should be doing that. Alright, opponent has 1 card in hand still. Man. Alright, this time we'll play it. Jeez, alright. Man, our opponent had the exact sequence of Path to Exile, Snapcaster Mage, Mindbreak Trap in their hand. That's pretty wild. So I think we have 1 more fetchable land. We have 1 more Steam Vents in the deck. The difference between 7 and 6 doesn't do anything here. No, we don't actually. Okay, so we have P and Kira Nalar is a win. As well as 2 Helixes, I think are our outs. Engineered Explosives. Does that do anything? We can cast it on 2 to try to buy ourselves some more time. -8. This is -7. We can cast it on 1 to try to break up the Pithing Needle. I think we just cast it on 2. Hope our opponent wastes a counter or something on it. Okay, so that's fine. So we are dead here if our opponent wants to just kill us, but so far it doesn't appear like they like killing us. I guess no, playing the EE on 2 gave us another turn. All right, so our opponent. Yeah, our opponent goes up to 4 here. This is bad. Because this is a non-land permanent, so we couldn't even get out of that anyway. Yeah, alright, good game, opponent. Oh, no, I guess we still have... if we draw P and Kira, we can do 4 damage, I think. Maybe, like, exactly 4. 1, 2, 3. Now we're 1 land short of that somehow. Yeah, alright. Good game, opponent. All right, everyone, we are on the draw for match 3 after a disappointing loss to Esper Control. Or Esper Gifts, I guess. We will keep this hand. This hand's fine against most things. Is this like budget humans? I don't know what's going on. All right. Well, I guess we need more lands and combo pieces, as well as like interactions. I guess we're just going to Serum Visions here. I don't like just wasting Serum Visions. And I feel like this is close to wasting a Serum Visions, but not exactly. So, yeah, look at that. All right, so it actually worked out very well. So we'll just... Serum Visions is very good in this deck. I don't like Serum Visions in control decks in Modern, but this isn't a control deck. This is a combo control deck, which is a big difference. Oh, it's a Devoted Druid deck. Okay, makes sense. All right, so we will, I guess just play this untapped and path it. It's fine. Or just main phase path it, because they can chord in response otherwise. Then next turn we can snap path. Ooh, geez. All right. Oh, Helix is good. All right. I guess Snap Path is a little bit more mana efficient. So yeah. And I like doing all these Snap Path things. I just like main phasing them against company decks because they can generate 2 mana with the Devoted Druid if we let them untap, which is actually 1 less than we would just give them by pathing it. So I think I like just doing this. Make sure our opponent can't just kill us next turn. They only have 2 cards in hand. We can chump block with the Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, that's fine. Opponent companies. We still have our Helix, which is good. Witness for company is very good. Witness and Ooze is very... Okay, so that's another reason why playing the Snapcaster Mage first was correct. All right, so I like being vindicated. That's good. We currently cannot just run out the Saheeli Rai. So if we draw a land, we can just play Felidar Guardian, which is kind of cool. But... I don't know what's going on with this absence. I'm assuming they just must not have... what's it called? Noble Hierarchs in their deck. They just have Absence Pilgrims instead, which is way worse. All right, so there's Duskwatch Recruiter. That's fine. Wall of Omens. All right, well, I guess we gotta have to run out a Wall of Omens here and hope to draw a land. No. All right, but Serum Visions can try to get us there. All right, we did draw a land, and then there's an island on top. So, bottom the Teferi, top the island, play that, pass the turn. Then next turn we can play Felidar Guardian, untap a land and Helix something, and then hopefully just win. Okay. So we can block some stuff here, which is good. Opponent attacks with those 2 things. All right, let's just run the Wall Omens in front of that thing. That's fine. Oh, yeah, our opponent has... Didn't really think of that. All right, do we need Island or Plains more? I think we just need Island more. Let's just take that. So we don't have a land on top necessarily, so that does put a little bit of a wrinkle in our plan, but it's not too bad. Okay, we drew a land anyway. All right, so we'll go get a Plains with that, and then we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Play Felidar Guardian. And then we'll fill out our Guardian this plane. So now we have Remand up as well as Helix. And we'll pass the turn, block some stuff, and then we can Saheeli with Remand back up. Opponent plays a Collected Company. Do we remand that? Yeah, probably. Let's just remand it. There's significantly fewer things can go wrong if we just remand this. Okay, even drawing a remand is great. All right, so the opponent flips back the Duskwatch Recruiter. We do some blocking. Then we try to combo off with remand backup. We know our opponent has Collected Company and 3 unknown cards in hand. Usually our opponent doesn't play Path main deck. Usually. Okay, that's fine. We'll just block that with the Wall of Omens. Probably have a Court of Calling here, is what it looks like they're holding up. Just playing another Knight. That's fine. All right, so we'll play the Island. Cast Saheeli Rye and go for the combo. Okay, it is a Court of Calling that they're holding up, which we will remand the Court of Calling. Cool, and our opponent concedes. Excellent. So we out-comboed the combo deck. Cool. All right, I like EE, I like Angers, I like Braid. The Dispels. So these are all cards I guess we can consider. These are cards that that are fine in the matchup at least. So these here. Cards that I don't like in this matchup are Spreading Seas. They could have Worships. I think we just need to keep into Fairy. Unfortunately, we don't really have very many outs to that. And Remand is usually lackluster, so those 6 for sure can come out. Maybe just like 1 Dispel, 1 Rest in Peace, something like that. Cut these 6. Maybe we could even just cut all the remands. Cut all the remands, bring in another Rest in Peace. Nah, Rest in Peace seems bad like that. Now, let's just do that. We'll just keep in 2 remands. All right, and we'll submit like that. I don't think we need Settle the Wreckage. Like you saw that game, that's not how we lost that game. It wasn't that our... Or, you know, that wasn't how we were going to lose that game, as our opponent just attacks out. It's us not finding interaction like Lightning Bolts. So this hand's great because, you know, we can just bolt the first 2 things they play and then play a Saheeli and hope to find the combo. So, like, yeah, that's fine. We'll just bolt it. All right, second Saheeli's not great. Bolt that, pass the turn. Then we can play Hollowed Fountain, bolt their next thing, play Saheeli Rye. They don't even have a second play. That's great. Just play the Colonnade, pass. Colonnade's a pretty good draw. We do need another red source for this PN Kieran Alar. But that's fine. Okay. That's aggressive. Yeah, we'll get this Plains. All right, and we're just going to jam Saheeli here. Put a cat on top? No, Teferi, though. Teferi's pretty good. Yeah, I guess we'll keep that on top. Okay, the opponent now has command mana. Okay, so that and a Walking Ballista on 1. Walking Ballista on 1 does disrupt the combo in a very significant way. Like, very significant. So we'll start by scrying. Path. Do we want a path? It's probably fine. I mean, we get to cast it this turn, so that's fine, I guess. Yeah, sure. All right, so we'll Serum Visions here. Path, and then we do want a Tarn on top, so we're actually just going to do top, top. Play this tapped. Pass the turn and probably just bolt the Ballista. So bolt the Ballista here. Sure. Okay, so opponent deals 1 damage to a Saheeli Rye. That's fine. Okay, opponent plays Tracker, and we'll path the Tracker. They will get a couple of clues out of this, probably. No, okay. Cool. All right, so our opponent's hand appears to be mostly non-functional, which is good for us. Just go ahead and get, I guess, a red source here because we do have Angers in our deck still. We'll scry with this Saheeli Rye first. I think we can just bottom that at this point. We're just looking for the combo. Play Teferi, plus Teferi. All right, we drew a different land. Untap these 2 guys. This one and that one. All right, so now we're looking at 3 cards a turn. Still just looking for the combo. Opponent has Walking Ballista, which, like I said, is very good against us. We can cast Pia Kira Nalar and shoot down the Ballista. Our opponent only cast it on 1 for some reason, which is weird, because they should have definitely put it on 2. Okay, they have a Vizier. That makes sense, I guess. All right, we'll scry with this. Bottom it. Draw a card. All right, so it's that. And I guess we'll just play that tapped and play Pia and Kira Nalar. All right, and then we can shoot down a thing at some point, which is pretty good. You can block something, shoot down something else, in case our opponent has like a combo thing. Okay, so they do have that. So we will, in response, I guess, just shoot down the Walking Ballista. Our opponent will get to shoot down the other Thopter, which is unfortunate, but we kind of needed to do it. Our opponent paths the Pia and Kira Nalar. Sure. Oh, we have the other island in hand. Damn. All right. So that's fine. All right. We will block the one that allows our opponent to combo. All right. We'll scry with that. I guess we'll top that, draw it, cast it. Oh boy. All right. So Helix, I guess we got to bottom that too. So we're going to lose one of these guys this turn. That's kind of unfortunate. We've just somehow like bricked off into infinity here. Thought we were in great shape. Can our opponent pump? Yeah, our opponent can pump. Interesting. All right, we're going to be dead pretty quick to this. We still win if we draw our cat. Okay, our opponent shouldn't do this, because then they can't pump. This is just not technically sound play. All right, so our opponent's going to deal 5 damage to that. Sure. I guess they're playing around like Blessed Alliance here. It's a weird thing to play around, but okay. Yeesh. All right. We've already scried a few things to the bottom, so I think I just want to do this first. Braid to the bottom. All we're looking for is our combo. I mean, our opponent doesn't have a quick clock on us, but it is a clock. Scavenging Ooze is pretty good. All right, that Saheeli takes... Fortunately, we have a backup Saheeli, so we are going to be okay for a few more turns here. All right, there's the combo. All right, so we'll start off by scrying here. Our opponent actually has no cards in hand, so we're in good shape here to just go for the combo. All right, cool. And we're 2-1. I'll see you guys beginning of round number 3. All right, everyone. Welcome to round number 4. I realized as soon as I ended my my comment that I said we're 2-1 after round 3, and I'll see you guys beginning of round 3, which, you know, obviously doesn't make any sense. All right, we're going to keep the hand that has one piece of interaction and the combo. Our opponent mulligans. This hopefully is going to be a like slam Saheeli on 3, cast Guardian on 4, win the game type hand. We'll start off with Colonnade, and then probably get something with the Arid Mesa, and then bolt our opponent's first thing, and then play Glacial Fortress Saheeli, and then hope to play a land. Opponent plays tapped land, which is beyond perfect. All right, well, that's at least something else we can do if for some reason we decide that tapping out for Saheeli is not correct next turn. Hopefully our opponent's not playing Boggles. I guess if our opponent is playing Boggles, then this could go poorly. All right, looks like our opponent's playing Infect. I think we're certainly more than fine just firing off this bolt at this Noble Hierarch here. See if our opponent wants to protect it. No, I don't know exactly what they're doing. They're pathing their own thing. Okay, so our opponent is playing some sort of Bant Company deck, which is also a favorite of mine. I've made a video of Bant Company. You guys can check that up on, or not Bant Company, Bant Cord. I do like Bant Company, though, but I did make a video of Bant Cord. I love the archetype. I love everything that these kinds of decks do. The different play patterns and stuff like that are all really fun and a change from, you know, what I normally play, which are control decks. All right. I guess that card's really good if our main game plan here doesn't seem to work out correctly. But I mean, our opponent has to do something here. I guess if they leave up 4 mana here and don't do anything, they could have Spell Queller, which is a legitimate concern. I think I still play into Spell Queller, though, because we have 2 Guardians. So I'll just jam 1. If they have Queller, then they have to have another Queller. They could just be Bant Spirits and just have, like, the worst opening start of all time. That's probably what it is that they just have... This is Bant Spirits and just has, the worst opening hand of all time. All right, so we'll start by scrying with the Saheeli Rai. Serum Visions. That's not great, so we'll bottom it. And I mean, we are just going to jam. If our opponent doesn't have Spell Queller, then they have to Company into Spell Queller. So they're probably likely to hit, but not, 100%. If they have Path, then, we weren't going to beat that anyway this turn. So it does look like our opponent's going to attempt to Company. And they're going to attempt to Company now, which signifies that they probably don't have Reflector Mages in their deck. Okay. We could just lose the Saheeli Rai here if they hit if they hit Queller plus Lord or something like that. But I think we're just supposed to jam and make our opponent have it. All right, so Captain doesn't do it. So it is Bant Spirits. And our opponent's going to have a bit of trouble. Yeah, okay, so our opponent's just dead. I don't know why they even showed us that, because we still didn't know what they were playing. All right, so we will bounce that. I mean, I guess we didn't have to, but that's fine. So then we'll bounce this. Yep. Make a copy of that. All right, cool. And I will just skip to the end of this in editing after we have killed our opponent. All right, welcome to sideboarding for our match against Spirits. I apologize for that, everyone. I would just, assume that our opponent's not doing anything. Like, usually Banned Spirits doesn't keep hands like that do absolutely nothing. And I was like, oh, they're just playing bad, company decks. And I've been playing Modern for so long that when a new deck like that just shows up, I don't immediately then just assume that everyone's playing it. I'm like, oh, back in the day, there used to be all these bad decks that I used to love to play that played all these cards. All right, so in this matchup, I like these four at least. Engineered Explosives is probably good too. They also have Worship in their deck, so I think we need to leave in the Teferi as much as that pains me. The Spreading Seas are usually bad in this matchup because we're not really countering their stuff anyway. The Remands are also not great, so maybe we can cut like a couple of Remands, bring in a Vendilion Click, and maybe like a Dispel to... So just have like one Remand. One Remand is so few, though. I feel like this matchup is really bad for us. I'm surprised we were able to win that game. Yeah, but Remand seems really bad. They've got Caverns, and I don't really like counter match. Yeah, maybe it's better than I think it is. Maybe we'll play one more Remand, and then we'll cut a... Yeah, we'll just cut the Dispel. That's fine. Dispel is very, very narrow. Very narrow. The card that's going to beat us anyway is Spell Queller. It's not Collected Company. Just in these like grindy matchups where our card quality is just worse than our opponent's, sometimes it's just very rough. I think we have to keep this hand. I would like a piece of interaction instead of just a bunch of lands, but this deck doesn't play enough lands where you can just mulligan hands that have, like the wrong combination of lands and spells. Because if we mulligan to 6, there's a good chance there'll only be like 1 or 2 lands in that deck, in that hand, and we can't really win with that either. All right, Aether Vial. Yeah, I guess we're on the fetch to marginally thin plan in this matchup. Fetching is usually statistically doesn't really change much in this deck, but with how many scries we have with the Saheelis and stuff like that, you generally want to do all your fetching first. All right, we'll get our Scalding Tarn. We'll get a Steam Vents, I guess, because we do have bolts in our deck, and this way we can just play the Plains to bolt the Thalia relatively painlessly, which we would probably do on our opponent's upkeep. Yeah, or in response to a Vial. Yeah, okay, well that's not working. All right, so we'll just play our Arid Mesa, same thought process, which is we'll just do all our fetching now, and we want to get red sources anyway because we have Angers of the Gods. But yeah, we kept a hand that had one piece of the combo. It was a little speculative, and it looks like we're just going to get buried here. We would have to draw like I don't know. We would have to draw really well though. We'd have to draw like Bolt into Anger. Although our opponent doesn't seem to be on like the world's fastest start here. Only taking 3. All right. Bolt to Teferi. Well, like I said, I mean, they do play Worship, so we do have to keep in the Teferi. I mean, there's a chance that we just shouldn't do that because we can't beat it anyway. Yeah, Selfless Spirit's really bad for us. So we might just die here without really casting a spell. We'll remand that. Now we got to add another one. Remand that. See if our opponent wants to Queller it. If our opponent Quellers it, they're a little soft to... No, they're not even soft to Anger because they have the Mausoleum Wanderer. Okay. All right, well, next turn we actually can just cast Felidar Guardian, which is kind of cool. Drog Skull Captain. So we're going to be taking 3, 6, 7, 8 damage this turn, and our opponent, we know our opponent has a 2-drop. Trying to think if there's a way that we can just survive until next turn. So we're taking 7, 5, and then that would be, yeah, so we're just dead next turn, unless we, yeah, we're just dead. All right. Because we could play Felidar Guardian here and bounce one of our lands, or bounce, you know, yeah, just bounce one of our lands. And then our opponent just plays their Lord and attacks us, and we lose. So, unfortunate. All right, do we want to change anything? Probably not. I think we just kind of have to hope we get lucky here. Does seem like a bad matchup. All right, this hand bolts. Snap bolts with Vendilion Click. All right, it's close enough. We got to keep it. All right. So we'll go ahead and get red, white with this. We theoretically could bolt something on turn 1. Like if our opponent plays a Hierarch, I'll probably bolt it. If they play, you know, obviously Aether Vial, I won't bolt it. If they play Selfless or the Spirit, I might not. The Mausoleum Wanderer. Okay, Aether Vial, that's fine. All right, so our opponent's a little bit on the slower side, which we don't hate. All right, cool. So this means that we can get another blue red land here, and then we can actually cast a Vendilion Click, which our opponent doesn't necessarily have the easiest way to get around. Which is one of the things I always liked about Vendilion Click in this matchup, is that you can actually block things that matter with it. Opponent's probably going to play a Thalia here, and we'll just bolt it. A Supreme Phantom, that's actually even better. This is a big mistake on my part. Wow, this is a big mistake. All right, so I just thought it was Thalia, and I was like, we're going to bolt it. So this is bad on my part, mana-wise. We're going to take 2 extra damage here because I'm stupid, but I don't think we can actually... Oh, no, I should have just played that tap. Yeah, dang it. So I just took 2 extra damage for no reason. I was going to say, because I'm going to bolt it here. And if our opponent has the 1 mana Spirit, they can Violet in and then sacrifice it to save their Supreme Phantom. But it would be a 2/2 anyway, so it wouldn't have worked. At least the way that I wanted it to. All right, so here we can actually just play Saheeli Rai and then try to scry into the combo for next turn. I kind of like that. We just get this on the battlefield and make our opponent like really hesitant to tap out for the rest of the game. Path's actually really good. Let's just leave that on top. That's fine. That's not the combo, but it's certainly good at what we're trying to do. Opponent does have a 1 mana play. It's a noble. Okay, that's fine. So we could Saheeli Rai, and then we can just copy the Pia, which is kind of cool. I like that play, too. Alternately, if our opponent is not doing anything, we can just blue-white here. Or just so the only double white spell, I guess, in our whole deck is Settle, and I guess we'll just hope to play around that a little bit. Snapcaster Mage. I think we're just going to bottom that, actually. So this is fine. Our opponent has 3 mana here. They obviously have a Spell Queller. And we're just not going to play into Spell Queller mana, because there's no reason to. Alright, so we'll let the Aether Vial resolve. Supreme Phantom, that's fine. Okay, so then with this on the stack, I'm going to cast the Vendilion Click. So this way, if our opponent wants to Spell Queller it, they have to do it now, and they can't file it in, so they have to cast it, and then we can let it resolve, take the Vendilion Click. Okay, cool. All right, and we will look at our opponent's hand here. Oh, geez, a bunch of collected companies and a Drog Skull Captain. Do we even take the Drog Skull Captain? And just hope they brick on lands. Yeah, it seems fine. All right, so they have 3 companies and a Drog Skull Captain. Sure. So we were playing around a card that they didn't have, and it just so happens that they, they would have just immediately played a land if they drew it too. So we're not in like amazing shape, I'd say, but we're in like fine shape here. Our opponent can attack the Saheeli with the Supreme Phantom. Mausoleum Wander. Okay, that's fine. We're like actively not casting this path, I don't think, because we just don't want to give our opponent, any sort of ability to get to those collected companies until they absolutely, can. All right, so now here we have a legitimate question as to whether or not we want to path this Drog Skull Captain. I think the answer is still no. Because we just don't want our opponent to get to the collected companies. I think that's still kind of our plan. All right, so we will take a look at the top card of our library. Still looking for our cat. And I guess we'll shock this in this time. And now we will protect the Saheeli Rai from dying with a Path to Exile. I think. I don't know. Maybe I still played this a little bit wrong. We probably didn't have to shock in there, but, well, we did it, and we're going to live with that decision. All right, so the opponent has 3 collected companies in their hand, which is so many collected companies. We can also theoretically path... oh, they found one. Damn. All right. All right, all right, all right. Well, at least that unlocks our path. All right. So we'll see how our opponent attacks. I mean, we're most likely just throwing a Thopter in front of it. Just tagging us. Next turn, I think I'm definitely just going to copy the P and Kieran Nalar. All right, so they're attacking like that. All right. So here I'm going to block there and there. See if our opponent wants to commit the collected company here. They should have fetched first. No, it looks like they're just going to let this happen. Okay, so that's fine. Cool. I guess we're just going to be mana efficient here, because that way they have to fire off the collected company now if they want to save this. And then we can copy the Pia Kira, or if we draw the combo, we can just combo them off. Okay. So our opponent is going to go ahead and let that resolve. I don't understand that. Okay. Yeah, I guess they're just terrified of this combo. Huh. All right. Well, let's copy a Pia and Kira. We'll keep this one. All right, and then we'll just pass the turn. All right, we'll let this resolve, and then we can path a couple of things. So Mausoleum Wanderer, and that's it. Jeez. All right, so we'll take this opportunity now to path this Supreme Phantom. All right. So 2 more collected companies in our opponent's hand. Definitely just run all of these into the... Yeah, that's fine. Oh, it's going to be 3 here. Oh, geez. Okay, so we'll just, I guess, blow it up. Yeah, this wasn't terribly too smart. That's not... I shouldn't have done that. Should have done it with the first one on the stack still, because now all our opponent has to do is play collected company and save it. But I think we might be fine with that. I don't even know. Okay, cool. All right, so our opponent just lets that resolve. That's fine. All right, so we still have 2 Thopters. All right, we just draw a land. We will plus with the Saheeli, Serum Visions. I guess that's marginally better than just taking a draw step. I'm trying to think, is there any reason to not just attack with this P and Cure and Alar? Yeah, let's do it. Let's just put a little bit of pressure on our opponent here. Cool. It wasn't going to block anything on the ground probably anyway. All right, so our opponent will use their second collected company here. They fortunately cannot do 2 hexproof dudes unless they naturally get 2 hexproof dudes, which would be amazing because there's only 3 in the deck. If they do that, we're in a lot of trouble. But if they don't hit exactly those pieces, we're in good shape. All right, Night of Autumn to blow up a Thopter, I guess, and a Spell Queller. Okay. All right, destroy, target, enchant, or artifact. All right, so we will kill it, I guess. And should we just snap bolt the Queller? Probably. We'll just do it while they're tapped out, because we know all they have in their hand is collected company. All right, so our opponent has collected company in hand and can attack with a 3/4 Noble Hierarch, which is it's a pretty big Noble Hierarch. So we'll I don't, if they're putting it after the Saheeli, I guess we'll block it. If not, yeah, we'll just throw the Snapcaster in front of it. That's fine. All right, so there's a Serum Vision. So we'll start off by scrying with the Saheeli. Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, I guess we'll top that. Play the Serum Visions. Bottom, I guess. Yeah, we'll do the same thing. We'll just go ahead and attack with the Pia. Cool. All right, so our opponent's now just throwing stuff in front of the Pia, so this is good for us. Pass the turn, our opponent will use their third company. All right, so our opponent has no cards in hand, and then we have Snapcaster Mage here to hopefully make... Oh, they hit the double Draug Skull Captain. Wow, that sucks. All right. Oof. All right. Well, now. Yeah, that's really bad for us. Okay, well, we were in good shape. Opponent attacks the Saheeli Rai with both. All right, so there's no reason to block it, so we'll just take the damage. And then I guess we're just supposed to try to race our opponent here. Opponent has a land for the turn. We can snap path a Hierarch, hit another one, and then our opponent can't. Oh, that feels so bad. All right, let's do it. So we're going to cast Snapcaster, path a Noble Hierarch. Eesh. All right. So then we will attack our opponent with these, then block one of the Draug Skull Captains, and bolt our opponent, and then hope to draw like Felidar Guardian or Saheeli or something like that here. So, because currently our opponent can't attack with everything. All right. Yeah, Selfless Spirit's a good one. See if our opponent wants to attack here. Just with one. All right. So we will block it. And then we will shoot our opponent. Sacrificing that Thopter, so they go down to 4 here. Yeah, this isn't looking good. Saheeli's great. That's the best draw. All right, well, Colonnade actually is pretty legit because our opponent can't kill us this turn, upcoming turn, and they have to leave 2 blockers back. I guess if they draw a Lord here, we're dead. Okay, so our opponent just hits us for 3. That's fine. And then we have Colony to block next turn. Yeah, these bricks have been real bad. Real bricky. So assuming our opponent's also not drawing anything, we're at this holding pattern here where our opponent can't really attack and we can't really block. Yeah. All right, so we're not attacking. Our opponent's not attacking. Ooh. EE. Okay. So we could put EE on 3 here and just hope our opponent... All right. We're going to do... So if anyone wants to know, this is the highly skilled play of highly skilled plays. We're going to play this EE for like 5, but only use 3 colors of mana. This is like, this is like pro level, like a bajillion play. So we're going to X is 5. So if our opponent has Spell Queller, it still doesn't work. All right, cool. So now we're just going to pass the turn because our opponent would have to attack with the Selfless Spirit here. Oh, man. All right, and our opponent does have another Lord, it looks like, so we are just dead. Was there any way that we could have played this a little differently? I don't think so, but it would have been interesting. So if we would have just played it for 2, we could have blocked with the Colonnade. 1, 2. Yeah, we could have blocked the Colonnade and attacked. Yeah. Oh, well. All right, I don't think we terribly misplayed there, but if we would have put it on 2, 1, 2, 3, and we needed to fetch down to 8 anyway, yeah, I think we were dead anyway. All right, everyone, we are 2-2 going into our 5th and final match. Would like to get off here with a winning record and get our money back. We will definitely keep a hand here that has interaction plus half of the combo, and I played the wrong land because they look very similar. All right, so, except for the fact that we played the wrong land, we're doing okay. So far, there's no reason for us to need the Colonnade on 3, so it doesn't look like we're going to get super punished because I don't think we're going to be playing Saheeli into anything here, but definitely not a good play on my part. Hopefully try to slow our opponent down a little bit by putting Spreading Seas on their lands the first couple of turns here. Remand is probably not good. Looks like it might be another Bant Spirits list. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, all right, I guess we'll just pass the turn here. All right, so with that on the stack, we'll just, well, we don't want to Lightning Helix that because our opponent could just sacrifice it. So I guess we'll let this resolve. That's fine. All right, Noble Hierarch. So then we will just go ahead and kill the Noble Hierarch because we want to gain the life. All right. Opponent just shocks in a Temple Garden, attacks, plays a Lord. Okay. So they definitely have Spell Queller. I think we just shock this in and pass. We can snap Helix something if our opponent goes to just cast something here end of turn. Yeah, they're not going to. Okay. So that's fine. Queller's really good, and we can't really play around it. Like, just our deck is not built to beat this, like, basically at all. Now our opponent can do all kinds of stuff. They probably have Queller plus Company. Trying to even think of what our outs would be here. I guess, all right, so we'll cast Snapcaster Mage. I mean, we have to do something, but this matchup just seems absolutely abysmal. All right. So that works. So then we'll attempt to Helix this one because it has fewer power. Okay. They'll need to hit. Yeah, there's a Drog Skull Captain. Okay. At least that's the only thing they hit. All right. So they have Serum Visions. Oh, I guess I was supposed to just try to jam the... All right. Well, now Now we could just, die here. I'm going to try to jam this P and Cure in the Lar. It's probably not going to work. But that way we at least, can say that we tried. Yeah, here's the Queller that they had up last turn. And then we're just dead. Yep, in the air. Oof. Wow, really rough. All right, we'll bring in Angers, Engineered, Abrade, Settle, Click, Dispel. Maybe even 2 Dispels. Just the remand seems so bad. Maybe they're a little bit better than I think they are, because their opponent doesn't have that many caverns. All right, but we definitely want to cut Spreading Seas. That just seems so bad that game. Maybe even Wall of Omens. That just doesn't do anything in the matchup. Maybe just like that. Submit. But yeah, this is I'm very dejected about how bad this matchup is. I think it's like 25% or less. All right, it's got Anger and Bolt, Serum Visions. We'll just keep it. We got to hope to get a little lucky with our Serum Visions here. I don't know exactly if we're statistically likely to hit a land with 22 with this, but we kind of have to, just keep a sketchy hand. All right, there's Bolt. Unfortunately, we have to bottom the other part of our combo just to draw lands in order to cast the combo at some point. Best start here for us would be if our opponent just goes land and creature. Yeah, okay, so they do exactly that. They just go land and creature. We will play this and probably not crack it because we already know that there's a card on the bottom of our library that we don't want to draw, and there's one more land in our deck if we don't crack it. All right, so there's the Cavern of Souls. Now all of our remands are really bad. All right, I think I'm just going to amend what I said there and get the Sacred Foundry here. I think it's important enough that we don't take a crap ton of damage off of our lands. Yeah, that's not good. All right, we'll main phase Bolt it because we're going to do it anyway, and we might as well just do it now so that our opponent can't protect something else with it. All right, there's an Aether Vial. All right, so this is actually good for us. Our opponent does not continue pressuring us. Drawing a remand there was not good. We will absolutely remand anything just to cycle a card. So yeah, we're going to remand this. Yeah. All right, cool. We did get a land. See if our opponent commits to the board at all. I mean, they probably won't because they're a good Spirits player, but if they do, we can hopefully anger them. Oh, okay, that's committing more to the board than I thought they would. So now we'll just anger. Hope to not get blown out. All right, so we'll go anger. Mausoleum Wanderer. Okay, well, at least we got the Mausoleum Wanderer out. Nope, not like to pay for that. All right, so next turn we can go Vendilion Click, block something, and then the following turn we can snap Anger. That's our new plan. All right. So I guess we'll put that on the bottom. And then if our opponent goes to Vial at the end step here, we'll cast our thing. Yeah, okay, so they have a 2 in hand, so we will attempt to remove the 2 from their hand. If they also have a Spell Queller as their last card, I'm just going to kind of throw my hands up and... Okay. I guess they could also just cast their 2. Why didn't they just cast their 2? Maybe they don't have one. Maybe they were just mind-gaming us. Oh, it's not a spirit, that's why. Yeah, all right, so we'll take that. Cool. All right, so that bought us a little bit of time here. Because now our opponent's attacks are bad. yeah, we're still not in great shape here. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, that's the end of this for us, guys. We are. I mean, I guess we're not dead on board, but like, we don't have outs. So yeah, that was good. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. We went 2-3, not the best showing for our deck, but you know, it was fun. And I think just the spirits matchup is really bad. If you can avoid the spirits matchup, I think we have a reasonable matchup against most of the rest of the field. It's just you know, control decks, spirits, and that's really what we need to avoid. All right, I'll see you guys next time.